This right here is Gamera, Guardian of the Universe and Godzilla's greatest box office competitor. The Heisei trilogy from the 90s is genuinely one of my favorite trilogies ever, and I want to pay a little bit of tribute to it by making a short VFX clip using this guy. Ah yes, the SH Monster Arts Gamera 1999. A really good figure that is totally worth the price. I've been using SH Monster Arts figures in my animations for almost a decade now, so I'm really comfortable with how they feel and how they move. While Gamera here isn't the most posable figure I've ever worked with, I can definitely get something done with him. So I'm going to take the figure, animate a short clip with it, and then bring all the footage into After Effects. From there, I'm going to be doing some compositing and general VFX work so I can just test my skills and hopefully make something that's in the same vein or same style or spirit as the original trilogy that came out back in the 90s. I'm going to be documenting parts of the animation process as well as the entire effects process so you can see what it looked like beforehand and afterwards. So this is the setup that I have in my kitchen because it's the only spot that has a, whatever this is, white light. So I have dragon frame set up with the figure, some colored lights, loom cube light, and then just these Ulanzi lights. One is orangish, one is reddish, can't really tell. Then on the microwave I have another light just to make sure that the green screen is evenly lit as best as possible. And there's a few spots right in here that don't look great, but the main areas surrounding Gamera look pretty good, and it kind of looks like it's on fire. So I might turn down the brightness on some lights, but I think this looks pretty okay, for now at least. So I just shot one frame of footage and I already made a big change. I turned off the ceiling light and changed the primary source of light for the green screen to be my bike light facing the back of the green screen, so that when you look at it, this is just going to be solid, like Gamera is going to be in complete silhouette. This is what it looked like beforehand, and you could see the highlights on top of the shell where the ceiling light was making, or the ceiling light was making contact. But this, for what I want, is going to look a lot better. I still have this light on here just so that there's still some detail on Gamera. He's not entirely lit by the colors, but not only does this make it look better as silhouette, but it also kind of makes a uniform green screen around him as opposed to what it looked like beforehand where, I don't know, it's a little bit iffy to say the least. After an hour of filming, that is a wrap. This setup actually worked out surprisingly well, better than it probably should have, but let's hope this turns out okay. So here's a very, very rough cut of what it's going to look like. Obviously it's, there's nothing to it really. It's just timed out. Frames are extended to, make information obvious to see, but the clips are long enough so that when I am done compositing and doing the VFX, if I need to shorten anything, then I can do that later in the edit. So yeah, I'm gonna probably take this shot since it's super simple. It's just a still image and try and get this looking good. Okay, I had to stop recording because I had to phone a friend because I was in way over my head. But the first shot turned out kind of okay, I think. There were a lot of layers. There were, there was the foreground layer, the foreground fire, then there was camera, then background fire, the background buildings, and then the distant background, and then the sky. So there was about 8 or 9 different layers, and then I pre-composed them all together just so it would be a lot easier to maneuver and manage, and I ended up with this. Yeah, I think for a first real attempt at compositing, I think this is a pretty good result. So I'm just going to move on to the next one. All right, so we need 3 bits of Foley for this because mine is a documentary followed by what's essentially a reel. I don't really know what I'm going to do for Foley, but I can do stuff for sound effects, which sound effects are technically Foley, or either way around. Either way, I'm going to figure out some bits of Foley that I can use to make that part of the grade, I guess. There's a lot of fire in my movie, and I think maybe a crinkly Doritos bag might be a decent sample, or decent, I guess, sample for fire. So I'll crinkle some up. Trying to think of what else. There's the fireball bit, which visually I think looks pretty cool. Let's see, I think maybe... What does it sound like in the movies? I think I could blow into the mic, because it's kind of like a extremely loud explosion. And an explosion is just a really large release of energy in a very short span of time. So, fuck it, I'll blow into the mic. I could do the door of the refrigerator closing, because that could be a decent base for the explosion, the collision of the light and the fireball. Why not? Okay, now we got the Foley. Time to start editing. Okay, it is 1:20, December 4th, and I just finished the final edit of the effects sequence I'm going to do a little bit of more editing of the actual documentary itself after I export it, but you won't see all that. So without further ado, here is my Gamera VFX clip. Enjoy.